And the first time you do it, it's like this big old dude with a mohawk, and it's like a 12-year-old. And her like 9-year-old sister's like, it's an NPC, smoke his ass.
Kill this mother. Welcome to the What's Up Verdict podcast. We fashion ourselves cinematic judge and jury. My name is JJ Crowder. I'm here with my co-hosts, Mattson Heiner.
Better red than dead.
Javier Ortiz.
What is up, my nerds?
And Ian Anderson.
Some shit.
We appreciate your help growing the podcast. Go ahead and hit that follow or subscribe button. Tell a friend about us. Go check out our website, whatsourverdict.com, where you can listen to all of our episodes. Sign up for a newsletter to get exclusive content and updates. Pick up some merch and interact with us. The question we always ask is if you ever find yourself wondering if you spend the time, money, or both on a movie. And to help with that question, each week we put a movie on trial, discuss the facts, pass judgment, and let you know our verdict. Today we're reviewing Free Guy. It was released August 13th, 2021. It was written by Matt Lieberman and Zach Penn. It was directed by Sean Levy. Stars Ryan Reynolds, Jodie Comer, Joe Keery, Lil Rel Howery, Utkarsh Ambudkar, and Taika Waititi. A bank teller discovers that he's actually an NPC inside a brutal open-world video game. If you have not seen Free Guy yet, now's the time to pause. Go check out our spoiler-free review on YouTube, where you find out if you should go see this movie or not. Once you've seen it, come back, pick up where you left off, because we're about to spoil the shit out of this thing. If you don't care about spoilers, hang out with us. It's going to be a good time. Mattson, you had something you wanted to bring up, my friend.
Yeah, if you have listened to our spoiler-free, certainly encourage you to do so. We did talk about the trailer for this movie, which a lot of us had seen a few times. So just wanted to bring it up because I feel like trailers for movies, while important, obviously to get you excited, also can reveal, I find in comedy movies, tend to reveal too much because they want you to be like, oh, this movie is going to be funny. But then you have a director like a Christopher Nolan, where his trailers sometimes are so cryptic and you don't know enough, but it builds anticipation. So just wanted to bring it to the group and kind of just talk about the importance of trailers for a movie, because I feel like they're obviously extremely important, but what trailers are best when kicking off a movie?
Christopher Nolan's whole movie is cryptic. Christopher Nolan makes 2-hour-long trailers for other movies.
That's funny coming from Javier, because I still think Tenet has our best intro.
I don't
ever.
get it. I still don't get that movie. I haven't even tried to watch it again.
When we're talking about it and Javier goes, oh, that's what that means? Or, oh, that actually happened?
I'm going to stick to Inception. Inception's more of like make up your own rules as we go type of movie, and I like that.
That's funny. To answer your question, Mattson, to be honest with you, I have a love-hate relationship with trailers because I get hype with trailers, and it really informs what I want to watch. But I hate the overdoing of trailers. Like, I wish they would just like do old school trailers where they run like just images of the actors that are going to be in it, and then maybe like a line or two from the movie, and then cut to here's where when it's coming out, things like that. Like, I don't need.
They do all these extended trailers now where I feel like sometimes you can see like 5 minutes of the movie.
I hate it. I hate that. So I wish that they would back away from trailers to a degree, especially now that it's just like so much, but it's become like a racket. So YouTube channels, like the trailers now are, the idea is to how many views on YouTube can we get for this trailer? Mm-hmm. So it really has become like something that helps boost their revenue.
Like it's an art form. Like every movie's looking for those people that cut their trailer in the right way.
I don't want to see your heavy hitters in the trailer. Like we kind of talked about this movie with Dude. Don't put him in a trailer. Let that be something the audience discovers. Especially they should have the confidence in Ryan Reynolds that he's done enough of these movies. They know they're going to have people coming out to see him. So kind of cut back on how much you show me and let me be surprised in the movie so I can like enjoy it, rather than, because with this one I felt like, oh, okay, this is where this is going to happen. Okay, now they're going to go and do this. Like I'd seen the trailer enough that I was anticipating like, oh, they're heading up to this bridge. This is where Dude's going to come. So there's no longer that surprise or that discovery as a viewer.
Yeah, and I think for me, like I was pissed when we went to last week's movie and they had this trailer at the beginning that had Dude in it. I was like, son of a bitch. The other thing is I'm fine. Like if you want to release like an extended trailer that has too much in it, fine, but do it on YouTube only or do it on the internet only so that I have to go and search it out or I have the option to leave it alone, don't put those extended promo shits in theater, because I'm going to see a movie. I love going to see trailers because it gives me an idea of what's coming out and when. And it's been a little rough for trailers this year, or the last couple of years, because obviously COVID's really wrecked the movie industry to a certain degree. So we don't get a lot of new ones, but I don't want to see that because I'm forced in a theater to sit and watch this, right? Like I can't just like put my head down and cover my eyes and be like Javier in a scary movie and not actually watch it. So
okay, whoa. That's hurtful.
But
it's true. It's true, but it's hurtful.
I will say that I feel like previews are needed, though. Like I haven't seen a James Bond preview, which I've been wanting to see every time I've been in a theater for like the last couple. I don't know if it's because I've been going to the wrong movie theater or the movies that I'm seeing aren't affiliated with the James Bond studio. I don't know. I really want to see that preview again because I'm so effing excited to see that movie. And that one like doesn't show me a ton. It just gets me pumped every time. So I think it's a fine line, but comedy movies always seem to reveal too much.
It's because they're best parts of the funny parts, and so they have to throw in those funny parts. The other thing I hate, and then we'll finish up on trailers, but this one had a couple of moments in the trailers that didn't actually show up in the movie. Like the part where they're driving in the car, and he looks over, and that couple's like, "Guy, we love blue shirt guy, we love you," and then they're like, "Watch out!" and they get hit by the truck. Like, I was actually kind of disappointed, and I hate when movies do that. They throw shit in the trailer that's not actually in the movie. I would rather you not release a lot of stuff in a trailer. I've said that, but if you are going to release it, don't put shit that's not actually in your movie, because that shit was funny. And I think in the flow of that movie, it would have been funny. You know what I mean? So I struggled. And for me, it also makes me question, like, because at the moment when they're in that car, all the other NPCs are in that diner or in that one building. And then they're trying to destroy that road at that point. So there's nobody to get hit. So I'm like, man, they must have changed the entire outcome of that scene, or was that just they hadn't or deleted all the players at that point? So it made me question, like it took me out of the movie going, where's this part? Oh man, they really changed the movie at that point. So it pulled me out of the movie, which I hate when they put stuff in trailers that isn't actually in the movie anymore.
Would you like to know my first like gripe with this movie?
Sure.
Is when the Stranger Things dude Keys was doing his interview talking about programming in ones and zeros, and I'm like, nobody programs in binary. What's this guy talking about? I don't know. I'm not a programmer, but for some reason that really bothered me.
Well, I mean, he didn't actually say anything wrong. When you code, the compiled code is actually ones and zeros.
No, I know, but he talked about,
but you don't. Yeah,
programming in ones and zeros, which people don't do.
Yeah,
they program through a language. No, it's not technicality. People do not code in binary. They code through a compiler that compiles it and converts it to binary. That's a big difference.
I don't know.
I laugh and smile and listen to a lot of your nitpicky gripes. This one, like, I can't just let go. He was just speaking nerd speak, dude. You gotta
no, that's fine. You can talk nerd speak, but don't sit here and act like you code in binary.
He didn't actually mean it that way. Like he
did. It's like a 5-minute interview where he's like, ones and zeros. I love writing in ones and zeros.
He was saying that ones and zeros don't lie.
There must have been like 100 programmers working on this movie, and not once was someone like, we don't actually program in binary.
No, because they actually understood what the man was saying, and that he wasn't saying, I type 1 and 0 over and over.
That's exactly what he said.
That's what you interpreted, my friend.
No, this was Javier's Tenet moment. He
mentioned ones and zeros like 9 times during that interview.
And it made sense. Every time.
No, it didn't. Because you don't program in binary.
Oh God.
Oh man,
So
Javier.
funny.
I'm gonna let that stay there. I don't know.
Yeah, because you can't argue against it because no one programs in binary.
There's a difference. I can argue against the point you're making, but no one can argue against you once you put your foot down, because no matter how many times I prove you wrong, you just keep going.
Is golf a sport? We'll never know, but we know what Javier thinks.
We do know golf is not a sport.
Exactly. Here we go.
At me, bro.
So, real quick, there's a lot of cameos in this movie.
Oh, you don't want to hear my other gripes?
Not yet. I'm sure they'll come up. I want
to pick some of Javier's other gripes. I want to try and guess.
I know there's at least one coming because I think he said it in the theater or after the theater, and I laughed. I was like, I'm going to let this go until we talk about it on the podcast. But some of these, I want to hear which ones did you guys catch? Obviously, okay, we can throw the ones out that were obvious. Channing Tatum was in this movie very early and then a couple of times and had probably one of the funniest scenes in this whole movie, in my opinion.
That was my favorite cameo.
Like,
mostly because I don't suck that Marvel dick.
Jesus. Nobody, there was no. Whatever.
Bob, don't touch that sock. You have therapy for months.
Seriously, like that scene was one of the funniest scenes of Channing Tatum cutting back and forth to this ugly gamer. And then Channing Tatum like in game freaking out at his mom. Like, oh God, it was great. I was in tears. I was laughing so hard at that part. But there was. You guys catch Hugh Jackman?
Yes, he was the dude in the mask at the beginning that gave the little map thing, right?
Yep, he was that guy.
Oh, I didn't know that. How'd you guys know that?
Why was he that guy, though?
His voice.
Well, it's just because it was Ryan Reynolds. Like, Ryan Reynolds was called in some serious favors on this.
Oh, yeah, because it's his rival.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So it's Wolverine. He's got to be in it. So The Rock was in it as one of the robbers, robber number 2.
I heard that voice. I was like, this sounds just like him.
What?
Yeah, The Rock.
But it wasn't. But it wasn't his body though. It
no,
like it was just his voice.
Just his voice.
Yeah.
It's just like Hugh Jackman. So the guy that Hugh Jackman voice was all huge and big and giant. But yeah, that was Hugh Jackman. And the Rock's guy I think was actually kind of skinny and small. But yeah, he voiced one of the bank robbers early on in the movie. John Krasinski was a voice.
Catch this one.
So when they were doing I'll tell you, when they were doing all the different streamers, and there was the one that they just had the silhouette of the dude in the hoodie.
Oh, that was
that was John Krasinski.
Oh my gosh, that is so nice. Funny.
Yeah, and then the mom that Channing Tatum was yelling at, that was vacuuming as she walked by the door, that was Tina Fey. So her voice, the mom's voice, was Tina Fey.
You're 22 and you live in my house. There is no God.
Yeah. So great. So yeah, there was quite a few. And then of course you had the ones that you saw, like the different streamers, Ninja, Pokimane, Laserbeam. Then there was
are those real streamers?
Yeah, those are actual gaming streamers. Jacksepticeye and Dan TDM. All of those guys actually are big Twitch streamers.
Probably really cool for them.
I'm sure it was a lot of fun because they were in it quite a bit more than I thought they would be. And then there's the Marvel Dick. Chris Evans was in it.
Yeah, Marvel.
That part, JJ, I know I wasn't with you, but I know you laughed very hard during that moment.
What the shit? Like, well, and I laughed. I was hoping, like, once they showed Chris Evans and then they pulled the Star Wars, like the lightsaber out.
The lightsabers.
I was like hoping you'd get like a Mark Hamill cameo real quick, or like I've taught you well, or some shit like that. Shit would have been hilarious, but they missed out on that one. So.
Is that a lightsaber?
Yeah.
I was talking to my brother-in-law Eric, and he was like, yeah, man, Disney was just flexing with all the stuff that they have that no one else can touch.
Yep. Well, and you know that shit was added in late in production too.
Oh, yeah.
The way that it cut around it, and then they had like the actual themes from both movies play, which there's no way Disney lets Fox do that shit without it being a Disney property anymore. So yeah,
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. So a lot of fun cameos. But overall, this movie was quite fun. I had a great time with this movie. And I think, like I said in the spoiler free, like I was pleasantly surprised by the actual plot of this movie. I didn't see, like, this movie had a lot of heart to me. Like, I mean, it was just one of those things where it was a lot of fun. I was really into the characters, like Jodie Comer's character, Millie, and Guy. Like, I was rooting for this dude the whole time, even though I'm like, this is the weirdest thing for me to be excited about is some NPC bank teller. But I just had a great time with this movie, and the plot really, I liked it. Had a lot of heart to me.
So as someone who's played GTA Online, if that NPC existed, everyone would hunt him down.
Oh, like, for sure.
Everyone like rallies behind this guy. And I'm like, that would never happen. I've played with these people. They're the scum of the earth. Like,
oh, for sure.
Including me. I absolutely would hunt this guy down.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. We would definitely try to kill him.
Yeah,
but
no, GTA is a bunch of murder.
He'd probably kill us because he was pretty good at what he did at the end of the day.
Level 102, I could take him with my GTA account.
Although I liked the fact that, so that's part that I didn't see coming. Like when the first time they interact and she's like, obviously doesn't think he's an NPC. She thinks he's some sort of hacked player and is like, go level up and then come talk to me. And this dude's like, okay. And starts being the good guy and just like beating ass. And you see that progression of him doing things to help people, still dying a lot. Like, I love that they show him going in and he's trying to fight these guys and he gets shot right out the gate.
A grenade. He tries to throw it back and he hits a box truck.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that him leveling up part to get to the point where he could go and hang with Miss Molotov or Lady Molotov or whatever.
I liked how he grab the guns like it was like a dirty rag or something that you couldn't touch, like walk away with it.
Yeah.
I thought that scene was just them trying to fill time between trailers. You know,
between trailer moments.
Yeah, between trailer scenes. Like, shit, we got 30 minutes to kill.
God.
But I'll say this: I saw this with Taylor and my sister, and they knew nothing about like the video game world or anything like that, and they were like pleasantly captivated in the world and like everything that popped up on screen because they were confused. They're like, "What is this? Like, what are we watching?" And for them, it's just a compliment to Free Guy. Like they dumbed it down enough for it to make sense to people that don't play video games about like, oh, we're in a video game. Oh, you can kind of do whatever you want. Oh, there's missions, there's money, and it worked. And so I do think that's hard to do because we all understand, like we instantly see it, we're like, oh, this is GTA. And maybe sprinkled in with a little bit of Fortnite with Channing Tatum's character doing the dances. No one else knows that unless you play video games. And yet it was still funny to them. So I do think that's kind of hard to do.
I love the little things, like the first time he's checking his bank and there's just some dude in the background glitching out. He's like jumping, running into the wall.
Loved it. I didn't know if anybody else caught that shit with the dude. Like you could tell his internet just sucked ass. It was like totally all over.
At one point he jumps in the air, freezes.
Yeah, that's Ian playing video games.
That's me. That's right. Yeah.
Or just the tanks just rolling through the streets.
Oh, yeah.
Like crushing cars.
Just crushing cars. RPGing the cop cars and stuff. So
I love that. I said in the spoiler free, I love the guy that was just running around punching people because that's one of my favorite things. Just smack people while you're running in GTA.
Do you think did Rockstar say anything about this? Were they like,
I don't know,
because everyone's thinking of GTA, right? I wonder if Rockstar's like, what the hell?
Probably. I love too, like the fact that as a gamer, like you have these farming runs. You're like, I need money, I need this. So there's like easy ways to get them. So I start laughing so hard every time someone goes into the bank heist and Buddy just drops his gun belt and they all do the same things. Cause like, I can't tell you how many times in different games I've done the exact same missions over and over again. Mm-hmm. And you've got
the timing down to a T,
exactly. Right? You know exactly where that enemy or the NPC is going to be, when they're going to be there, what they're going to say, which you see too in her, like in Jodie Comer's character, she's walking down the street saying exactly what each NPC is going to say. And yet, so I just loved that because I'm like, oh, I've done that so many times.
I also loved that they would pan from the in-game character to who was playing. And the first time you do it, it's like this big old dude with a mohawk and it's like a 12-year-old. And her like 9-year-old sister's like, it's an NPC, smoke his ass.
Kill this motherfucker.
I wanted to see a super hot chick pan to like a fat ugly dude. That's what I was waiting for. Never happened.
No, I think they that's where they subbed that in with Channing Tatum's.
Yeah, that was character. The joke right there.
You get that goofy looking dude in that. Oh, shit was great.
Well, they had that super hot chick that her algorithm started to work and she wrote like a manifesto or something about like gender equality or something.
Gets a little preachy at times, but overall it's really good.
Yeah. Well, and I really like that one caught me off guard too. Like, so I enjoy the fact that this whole thing, like I didn't see the AI piece coming, like that they had created an actual way for AI to come into it. And then it wasn't like the AI was trying to destroy the world. They just wanted to live in their little video game world, right? And not be killed every time some murder hobo got into a video game.
Okay, let me ask you guys this. Would you pay for a game where you didn't do anything, you just went and like experienced AI?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, I don't think. I think it'd be a cool social experiment, but I wouldn't like I just can't see that being a monetizable game.
Would I play GTA with AI that after
Hell yes.
got really upset with me and the cops got better and like, oh, he's going to pull out a rocket launcher here. We're going to pull out a Gatling gun.
They invent shit.
Take my money.
Mattson, how dope would that be? You've got cops like innovating.
Yeah,
you've got
awesome.
like a Department of Justice that's funneling millions of dollars into military research.
Oh, it'd be awesome. They'd be like, he's going to go up to that building at the top of the skyscraper and jump down. You know what we're going to do? Snipe his head off. And when I die, I'd be like, touche game. Way to go. I love you.
We're not playing this game anymore. They just bring the building down. How wild would that be?
I would pay for that game.
Yeah. And as you're sniping people, you're like, I have children, you know?
The guy
I'm with you, man. Down. I think AI GTA would be awesome.
The one time you go to hit someone on that street, he's learned. He's like, I got my baseball bat. I'm gonna smack Javier in the face, and he kills you. And you're like, I can't even get upset right now.
That's the point, though. Like, here's the moral question: because if you kill someone, they're dead, right? You're killing a real person. Well, I don't know, depending on what your definition of real person is, but you're killing an intelligence. You know, so really, it wouldn't be that person learning. It would just be a different person learning from that guy's death.
Fair. It's all ones and zeros.
It's all ones and zeros.
And we've come full circle.
But the game would be awesome.
Okay, one more funny part that just popped into my head. Where he's like, Millie, how often do banks get robbed in your world? Almost never. And what about corpses? How many corpses do you see per hour on average? Oh, like 0 per hour.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And is there any gun violence in your world?
Actually, it's a real problem, guy.
Actually, it's a real problem.
It's terrible, guy.
I died. He's like, I did not see that coming.
That shit was great. About the AI game, I think... Okay, so I have a question. Do you guys watch reality TV?
Yes.
No. Wait, what's reality TV?
Setting it up like a Truman Show.
So reality TV, anything that's booked is reality TV, like Real World, like
Big Brother.
Big Brother.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, I don't really watch that.
I don't either. Casey loves a lot of it.
Sure she does, buddy.
Fuck, I'm telling you. I watch more than I would care to watch.
Dude, we don't judge Mattson for loving Gilmore Girls. We wouldn't judge you for watching Love Island.
Dude, I love Love Island. That shit's fucking hokey as fuck. I told you when we were playing D&D, that shit's fucking bonkers. Love Island is a shit show on fucking television, and I loved every second of like the last 2 seasons of it. The first 2 seasons are shitty because there's everybody's unlikable in that show in the first few seasons. But the last 2 seasons, that shit was fucking entertaining as fuck.
Dude, if you can have a reality show where everyone's unlikable, I might have a shot. I would be good at that.
That's fair.
I can be unlikable.
That's true.
Absolutely.
I'll just lecture people about programming when I don't know anything about programming.
You can't code in ones and zeros, you assholes.
I'm like, you play golf? Yeah. Does it come in beds?
What a loser. So the reason I bring up reality TV is we all said no, we wouldn't buy a game where it was watching AI. But I feel like I would find that more entertaining to a level than most reality television because I don't like people for the most part. So watching real people do dumb shit doesn't entertain me most of the time. However, I would be very intrigued to watch AI, especially true AI, to see what they do. Do they do it better than we do as humans? Do they do it worse? Do they do it different? So
Isn't that just Westworld, JJ? And do we want to see that again?
Well, I do. I love Westworld.
No one wants to see that again. Oh my gosh. It's the worst show ever. Okay, I will say this, JJ. You have a point, though, because there is a big market for like Sims and Zoo Tycoon, right? So can you imagine those games with AI?
Yeah.
That would probably be interesting.
That's what I'm saying. I can't say that in every circumstance I wouldn't pay for a game where I watch. Because I watch Twitch. Like, I watch other people play video games. It can't be any more boring than that sometimes. Because sometimes that's not fun to watch. It's boring. But I think it could be an intriguing experiment anyway to see an AI-filled game where you don't actually interact or play. You just watch these actual AI. And I don't mean virtual intelligence. I mean actual artificial intelligence, which we have not achieved yet, live their lives like they were set to do at the end of this game. or this movie. I would be intrigued by that, I think.
I think it'd be way more interesting than the GTA people that stream it and role play on GTA. I actually saw like a video of that yesterday. I was like, what the, like, who's watching this?
Yeah, but people
better than that.
I think the game that they made would be boring. Of just like them living in a city.
Yeah.
But I think you've got
on the street.
Yeah, I think you've got a point though, JJ. I think there's a way, because the way that they made it, I would see that as like those zoo cameras where it's like, oh, I can look at the otters, and like 5 seconds in, I'm like, all right, well, that was fun. And then like never go back to it, you know?
I mean, I would agree with you other than they had a fucking dinosaur walking the streets of the city.
Dude, if I want to watch a dinosaur, you know what I'm watching.
Yeah, but is that dinosaur going to learn that these humans taste good and it will eat the people? That could be cool.
That's the question.
Okay, and then and then there's some follow-up questions there. Did they just evolve to the point where they're just cloning dinosaurs? Or is that just, the game makers just plop a dinosaur in there? Because I just feel like there's a certain ecosystem that you need to be careful about, and plopping a dinosaur in there might mess around with it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. The more you talk about it.
Maybe, Javier, they were testing to see if dinosaurs really could live amongst people for Jurassic World 3 or 4.
Oh,
so
market research.
They're beta testing.
Love it. Also, how many serial killers do you think there would be? I would watch something like that and be like, oh shit, there's a serial, because AI doesn't have to be good, right? I'm like, okay, there's a serial killer loose in Free City. Now I'm interested.
Telling you.
You know?
I think I'd probably buy the game and then wait for something interesting to happen.
But if the serial killer was Candyman, I don't know if you'd watch.
Yeah, I've tried playing like Dead Space and I didn't get through it, so probably not.
Dude, they're rebooting that.
Are they?
Yeah, they're remastering it. Can't wait to have you come over and play on my fat 4K TV.
Dude, it's a lot, man. I tried playing the first one and like the third one.
Which you missed the worst one. The second one's the hardest. That sucker is brutally scary.
Which one is it? So I can't remember which one it is, but if you play 2-player, one of the dudes hallucinates. Actually, I think even if you play single player. Yeah, okay. So I played with a buddy and his player would hallucinate. And so we'd be swarmed by zombies. He couldn't do anything because he couldn't see them. He just saw this little girl running around. And I'm like trying to save his ass. It was stressful, dude. I don't play video games for stress.
Offline, we got to talk about another video game I want to play with you. I was watching. It's called Phasmagoria. And they have it in VR, which I know you have and love. But you are ghost hunters. Like you literally are ghost hunters, and they give you a scenario on this whiteboard.
Is it cute like Casper Ghost Hunter?
Fuck no. Like, this is like fucking piss your pants while you're playing a video game type shit. And so you go in and they have like tasks for you to do. Like you got to catch something on an EMF meter. You got to do it. Anyway, so you go in this video game. You're walking around this creepy like house or like an insane asylum or an old school that's run down. And there's 4 of you or 3 of you, however many are playing. And you go in and then like they have it programmed where each ghost has a name and it tells you the ghost's name. And the more you say the ghost's name, the more often it will show up, and it will kill your characters. Like they'll just show up and all of a sudden there's like a fucking little girl with a like dead face that runs at you. Oh, dude, I want to play it with you so bad. Anyway.
No.
It's a good thing we're talking about video games. It still actually fits in the theme of this movie. Speaking of this movie, there are a couple things that I didn't enjoy. And one of them was like the forced love story between Keys and Millie. Like I felt like it just wasn't necessary. Like it wasn't bad. Like I didn't hate it, but it was so obvious and telegraphed that I was like, okay, you didn't have to like force this into this movie. Like
I felt that way too, because the cute part of this movie is that final thing between Ryan Reynolds and Millie, which was that he can go do whatever he wants. And the message is like to the rest of us, the audience watching, that we don't have to be like tied down by certain societal like confines, right? Like that's kind of the message they were trying to send. That was the cute part.
Yeah.
And then they went on to like the love story. It just seemed a little out of place.
Yeah. And can I just say, like, I seriously thought, and part of me secretly darkly hoped that as they were crossing the street to meet in the middle of the road and make out, that they would get hit by cars.
I thought
that too.
I was like, cross the street, somebody get hit by a car. Come on.
Well, and then they do Ryan Reynolds and his buddy. And then I thought, they're saving it for the video game. And those 2 are going to get hit by a car. But no.
I want Guy and Buddy to hook up. Like those two were funny as fuck. I like those two together.
I thought Buddy was just Kevin Hart, but like discount Kevin Hart, you know? Like,
oh God.
That is kind of that character's billing though. He's like a poor man's Kevin Hart.
Like, no, that's good. Harry, like please. he did well. It was just Kevin Hart. He was just playing Kevin Hart.
That's funny. And I like Lil Rel Howery more than I like Kevin Hart. Like he plays the security guards a lot. It's really weird.
That security guard was a goddamn hero.
I love that line. What a great line. No, he played a security guard in Get Out, that movie Get Out. He was the dude's friend, and he played like a security guard at a mall or some shit or something like that. And he uses his security guard car to come and pretend to be the cops at the end. But yeah, he's the same. He's just like Ryan Reynolds. He's the same character in every movie he plays. Just this over the top. He was in something else we watched recently, but I don't remember.
Would you like to hear my final gripe?
Sure.
My final gripe is that when he gets fired, they just let him take his laptop.
Yeah, that was like
with like admin access to the game.
Yeah,
that was a big plot hole for me. I was like, "Oh, take the laptop."
Yeah. Anyway,
I don't know. I have no answer to that one because I thought it too.
I mean, he didn't do much after that, right? He just streamed, I think, right?
Yeah.
So I guess it's not that big of a deal.
But I thought it too.
I really liked about this movie is the length. Like, I have no complaints about the length of this movie. I felt like it was easy to sit down, enjoy from start to end. And that's a common gripe we've heard on like a lot of our last ones is the length and like how it feels long or something like that. This one felt like it was supposed to be as long as it was.
How long was this movie? That's
an hour and 55 minutes.
That's a good compliment, Ian. Because when it was done, I was like, sweet. I had a good time. I didn't even think about that. That's a good point.
I also liked seeing people run out of ammo, right? They're in a video game. They had every right to have unlimited ammo. And they didn't. Good
That's
on them.
because we video gamers understand that you have to have mods to have that shit.
Yeah, you got to reload. You got to hit X.
Yeah, you got to reload. In fact, we're probably reloads. I know I am. I'm a reload spammer. Like, I'll shoot 2 shots and be like, fuck that, reload. I'm not running out.
It went through a whole mag. I was like, you never hit fire and don't fire a bullet, right? Like
either that or I got a mod that gives me like 6 clips in one.
Yeah, I was fully expecting that. Like when she pulled out her like little double Glocks or whatever, I was like, oh yeah, unlimited Glocks.
Love it. Nope, most realistic gunplay because we're all a bunch of reload hobos. Reload. I fired 4 shots. I still got 19 in the clip. Reload anyway. I might get in a moment where I have to fire all of them, and then I don't want them to not be there.
Yeah, what if those 2 shots are the difference between life and death?
I reload all the time.
That would have been a funny joke in this movie. Like, they had a character that just kept reloading. He's like, boom, boom. You never know. Like, I gotta be ready.
I'd have been like,
gamers would have understood that to the T.
Oh yeah. It's a problem. In fact, it's like a problem enough. There's games that have like guns that like if you don't reload them, they get more powerful as you fire. And I can't use those guns because I never get to that part of the clip, like or to the magazine. I just don't because I'm reloading. As soon as there's a breath to take, I reload.
Sometimes when there's not, I reload.
Yeah. Sometimes you accidentally hit reload in the middle of a gunfight. You're like, oh shit. Reload. So stupid. I love it.
Ones and zeros. It's not ones and zeros.
No, it's not ones and zeros. I did enjoy Taika Waititi's character. He was such a freaking asshole. And watching him play that character was funny as fuck.
Can I get one of those cloaks thingy that he was wearing? Like, those were pretty good and cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to see Hitler back on the screen again, you know?
Exactly.
No, there it is. Javier, you did that on purpose.
I did do that on purpose.
Man, he really blitzkrieged that screen.
Oh, God. And I think one of the parts that I laughed the most was like when he was on the ground and he tried to do like the jump up, like the kick up.
Twice. He tried it twice.
And he just kind of like goes up in the air and falls. And then the second time, like his feet just kind of lift. And then he ends up rolling over and getting up, getting in like a superhero stance. And they're like, yeah, let's do this. Amazing. Fucking so dumb. I loved it. There's a lot of funny parts in this movie.
His character is 100% how I believe like rock star management is. Like, at one point he's like, I do not care.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that seems on brand.
Yeah. Or he's like talking about sequels.
Or the part where he's talking to Keys's, I can't remember the character's name, Keys's friend. And they're like, yeah, let's come up with like we're buddy now. We're on the same team. Let's come up with a little cheer. 1, 2, 3, get back to work.
Dude, that character confused the hell out of me. He's like rabbit, apex predator. You know, and I literally thought, I'm like, I guess just something. A rabbit is probably an apex predator, right? Like
a blade of grass.
Yeah, like
power and fear. No, don't eat me.
Shit was great. Yeah, and I love that line too. He's like, "What are you going with?" "Oh, police officer, 70s porn mustache." Then he's like, "What do? You going with pink?" "Yep, pink, furry, long." So like just
full body.
Yeah. Shows up this weird ass rabbit outfit.
I would love to see more of that in GTA. Like if I could show up in a full body rabbit suit, like I would love that.
I think that'd be, why can't they let GTA people be police? Like I know people can do the kind of with the mods and everything, but I think that'd be a fun function to have like a quality control at Rockstar, have like souped up police and just come after some ass players and make it happen.
Oh, dude, that is a great idea. If you could play the good guy and you like respond to those like the wanted stars, and your whole mission is like hunt these dudes down.
That'd be sweet.
That would be amazing because instead of those crappy police helicopters, you've got like your Apache that you're chasing them down with.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Rockstar, if you're listening to this, put that patch in.
They're 100% listening to this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I laugh too because there's some funny videos out there. I don't know if you guys, I don't remember his name, but there's this guy that does like different voices when he plays video games. He doesn't stream his face, but like he can do like impressions, and he does this one of like a drill sergeant, and he gets like people together. So he's got this one where they're on like the runway at the airport, and they got this big like C-130 plane, and he's giving them this like,
oh, the drill sergeant dude.
Yeah, the drill sergeant. Yes. He's giving this big speech. Yes. I've never laughed so hard, and I'll go, if I need a laugh, I need to take a break, I'll go watch this video where he's standing there with a bunch of guys, and he's like, "Whatever you do, let's get on the plane. Don't run into the propeller." Seriously, not 2 seconds later, this asshole runs into
it, right?
He goes, "Oh, you fucking did it."
And it's funny because like he just shows up in lobbies, and the people flock to where he is.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, and that's like he's flying this plane, and this jet comes. And he goes, "Don't you run into me!" And he's like, "All right, we're gonna jump on 3." And this goes, "1." And this guy jumps. He goes, "Oh, you're stupid." If you haven't watched it, you should go watch that video. I've never laughed so hard in my life. He's a little vulgar, so be careful with that, but funny as fuck. Yeah, I can't think of anything else I didn't like about this movie other than the fact that we knew a lot of what was coming from the trailer, and then the weird forced love story. But I enjoyed this movie, and like Ian said, it didn't feel long. Even at 2 hours, it just felt right. I liked it.
I just think the thing to remember, at least for me, is having seen with people that don't understand the video game world and just watch movies for the enjoyment. Because I think sometimes they get on my butt all the time for like, are you ever going to give a movie a higher rating? Like, do you like movies and such? And so I've tried to calibrate myself for like the comedy genre for what this movie represents. I know we haven't gotten the ratings yet, but it's a pretty good movie for me. I'm trying to figure out like what didn't I like about this movie. And I didn't see the trailers many times as you guys, so pretty happy.
One last funny part, there was a time when Ryan Reynolds gets hit with something and guy's laying in the middle of the road. It's later in the movie, and he just got his ass beat, and he's like, and the cop walks by, like Officer Johnny or whatever. And he's laying there like, he's like laying there crumpled in the road and just like raises one hand, "Officer Johnny!"
Yeah, that one got me.
That one got me pretty good. A lot of funny shit in this movie. Anyway, we ready to rate it?
Let's do it.
Okay. If you haven't listened to us before, we do rate these movies on a 0 to 5 scale, 0 being absolute hot garbage, 5 being a beautiful perfection movie. So with that, let's jump right in. Javier, what do you rate Free Guy?
Okay. So I still have the same problems that I did at the beginning of this conversation. Sometimes my opinion changes, but like it didn't this time. So my problem is there's better Ryan Reynolds movies out, like funnier Ryan Reynolds movies. And there's kind of just funnier movies in general, right? So it's not like it's not an above average comedy to me. And then like in the video game world, there's like Ready Player One, which I think is like a more interesting take on the video game kind of world. Anyway, so with that said, it's a funny movie. The acting's good. Like all those like base things, nothing stood out. Like the acting was good. The CGI was fine because they had a ton of leeway because it was in a video game, so nothing could really look that ugly, which was smart, right? That's so smart.
Yeah.
I didn't really pay attention to the music, to be honest, but Mattson said it was good, so I believe him. Anyway, I think I'm going to give this a 3. It was good, but honestly, like Deadpool, I thought was funnier. So I'm probably going to watch like one of those movies before I watch this one again, but I will watch it again.
Fair enough. Ian.
Yeah, I'm still kind of in Javier's boat as well. I expected to laugh so much more, and I think that expectation kind of detracted from the movie for me. And I guess that's something that I just need to rein in with some of these movies, is coming in and not expecting anything, because that will ruin it for you. I really liked, I had kind of mentioned it before, the length of this movie, because it leaves you getting what you want and doesn't try and overdo it or oversell on what it's trying to do. So really enjoyed that. But at the end of the day, this felt like a very average movie. It doesn't stand out. Like I may watch it again. Like if somebody hasn't seen it and they want to put it on, I'm totally fine with that. But I don't think it's something I'm going to seek out, just because I feel like there's so many other movies that you can watch and then talk about and remember the funny parts and kind of re-laugh through it. So middle of the road, I'm just going to go with a 2.5.
All right. Yeah, let's balance these scores out a little bit, Mattson, because man, I'll tell you what, look,
3 is not bad. 3 is above average.
Oh my god!
I can't get more balanced than a 2.5. Man. It's like right in the middle.
Middle of the road. I can respect a middle of the road movie and rating. A lot like.
Shut up.
Okay.
Oh god. Yeah, I don't disagree with the fact that there are funnier movies. I don't disagree with this isn't even the best Ryan Reynolds movie. Where I disagree with is this is a very well-rounded movie to me, in that it is funny. It has hilarious parts. I don't remember the last time I had tears running down my face as hard as I did when Channing Tatum's freaking out at his mom. Like in game, like
his wife's bodyguard.
Well,
yeah, dude. I remember the day and time, bro.
Yeah, but that was for a very different reason. That movie wasn't because it was actually funny. It was because we were laughing in spite of the fact that this movie should not have been funny.
But it was funny. That's what made it funny.
This movie was actually funny with well-written jokes and good timing. And so for me, like, the other thing that it had going for it besides the comedy, which really surprised me and made this movie better, is the fact that it had a good story. It had had interesting characters. They weren't, even though they could have, they could have gone so over the top with everyone in this movie, but the base characters are actually pretty grounded considering the world that you're in, right? Ryan Reynolds' character is very interesting from a personality perspective and a storyline. Jodie Comer's character, Millie, and Keys, their stories are very grounded and realistic to me in a lot of ways, even though it's such a fantastical world that you're in. And so I really liked that. I love that the story had heart. I really felt for these characters and I wanted them to succeed. So for me, it was the surprise of how good it was beyond the fact that it was a Ryan Reynolds comedy. So that's where this movie really excelled for me, is it overtook my expectations in that I was looking to go in for just a run-of-the-mill Ryan Reynolds over-the-top comedy, and there was a lot more to this movie than that. And I really enjoyed it from front to back. I had a good time. I laughed a lot. I felt for these characters again, and so I wanted them to succeed, and I had buy-in throughout. So while it's not a perfect movie, for me it was a highly entertaining movie, and I'm going to give it a 4. I enjoyed it, and I will watch this movie again as soon as I have a chance to not have to go to the theater for it, because we just go to the theater for everything now. So I really want to watch it again. I'm excited to do so. So yeah, I'm giving it a 4, and I'll definitely watch it again.
JJ, I forgot my last point.
Yeah.
My last point is, is there a faster way to destroy servers than with an axe? I feel like you could like shut off power or something, you know?
I feel like it's a very dangerous way to do it too.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you really could just like disconnect the servers from the hard line of the internet, and they no longer function.
That's what I thought. Yeah. But you guys lit me up for my programming remark. And so I wanted to make sure I had my foundation first. Also, Millie just ran into the server room.
Yeah.
Anyone could just
face down a guy with an axe. Like,
yeah.
I was worried he was going to go for her.
And an obviously unhinged guy with an axe. Like,
yeah. Anyway, that was it.
Yeah. All right, Mattson, bring us home.
I'll be quick. I'm giving it a 4. JJ really pretty much said everything that I wanted. I think at times, at least for me, I'll just speak for myself. I pit movies against my all-time favorite movies, and I have to remember like the genre and trying to bring myself back to the common folk as well. And the people I watched it with really enjoyed it, and I'm really excited to watch this movie again with my nephews. I think they're going to have a really great time with it. I think the jokes landed. Really enjoyed the music and the spots that they put it in. I was pleasantly surprised that this movie had a story, and I think that's the reason I'm really giving it a 4. Is the jokes worked for me, but there was an actual story that carried these jokes along the way. And I think for a comedy, that's usually really hard to do because they're usually over the top, and then they don't endear me as we get to the finish line. So a solid movie for me. If you want to have some laughs, definitely find that friend that's going to laugh a little bit more like a JJ or an Eric in my circumstance, and you're going to enjoy this movie. And I think you'll be happy that you watch, especially like we've said, if you haven't seen the trailer, really, you don't know what this movie's about, you're really going to like it. I mean, I would think you'd be hard pressed to laugh when you see Dude on screen. And we didn't even talk about him a lot. Like if you didn't know that scene was coming, like I didn't, I laughed my head off. Like that part was so funny to me. I can't wait to watch that part with people that don't know that it's coming. So for me, solid 4, probably one of the better comedies I've seen in a while.
Mattson, you do have a good point. Like if I could debase myself to the common folk, I might have rated this higher, but I just can't do it like you can.
We're special people.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah. And we are very remiss to have not talked about Dude more. Like at the end, when he raises his hand, he's like carrying Ryan Reynolds, and then he raises his hand. He's like, friendly gesture. Like, all the shit that these pre-written codes would have. I fucking love that shit so much.
I love how they plop him in there and then don't finish him. They just kept him that way.
But he's so serious about it too, like catchphrase.
And then he's like, can you even say a complete sentence? He's like, I can bench press one.
Yeah, so serious. Oh, it was great.
So they used this like famous bodybuilder right, for that part. And I'm like, how much? Like, how much of this is like him walking around? Because it's like CGI'd, right?
Yeah.
I'm just really curious how the creation went. Like, we're going to use this body, but not that head. No offense. It
wasn't even all of the head. They kept most of his head. It was just the face. It was literally just Ryan Reynolds' face.
That's horrible. I hate that.
This guy, his name's Aaron Reed.
Yeah.
And he's huge, but they used everything except like this oval of his face. And that's why Ryan Reynolds, like, that's why his face looks like lopsided, because they purposely put Ryan Reynolds' face on there crooked so that it would look like he was like an incomplete like meathead that they created. And so that was part of him not being done, is that his facial features were crooked.
Dude, this guy's scary big.
He's
like,
huge.
The real life pictures are wow.
Aaron Reed is big. He's a big dude.
He's a very big dude.
Some of these even real?
Yeah, he's monstrous.
Jeez.
Funny movie, funny part. Yeah, that's when he was carrying Ryan Reynolds at the end. That shit was hilarious. Anyway, fun movie. Go check it out. Next week, The Protege is what we will be reviewing. Good. Javier has no idea what movie I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
Samuel L. Jackson. Oh God, why can't I think of their names now?
Well, don't spoil it, because then Javier won't like it.
I can't remember.
Michael Keaton.
He's seen the preview.
Yeah, it was in one.
What is that one about?
She's an assassin, and they
kill Samuel L. Jackson, and she goes for revenge against Michael.
Yeah. The John Wick creators. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yep.
Yeah, so The Protege is what we'll be reviewing next week. Yeah, it should be fun. Looking forward to it. Mattson, tell everybody where they can find us.
If you still like us after listening to this particular episode, common folk, after Javier didn't want to debase himself to that level, please.
It's not that I don't want to. It's just I can't.
They're written in ones and zeros, like so we just can't go there.
I can't. Let them eat cake. You know.
Find us on whatsaverdict.com. Listen to The Protege, or watching The Protege next week. Check us out for what we're going to be doing the following month. Let us know what you want us to review. Come chime in on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter as well. And check out our spoiler freeze on YouTube. We'd love to hear from you.
Sweet. Thanks, Mattson. Yeah, there it is. You can find us in all those places. Listen to us wherever you can find podcasts. And with that, we appreciate you tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye-bye, poor people.
Send the magic out.